Wake your game up, it's your boy June. You are now listening to Junnin with June, the best fucking podcast in the universe. Got a special guest today. Thank you for coming out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ben Jayne.
So let's get straight into it, man. Where you from? You know.
I'm from Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What battles have you faced? You know, coming from the area you're from.
Well, I was always to myself, and I was always different. And like the music I was making, like nobody was really on it.
Yeah.
So, like none of my success really came from Rhode Island though. It was more so when I moved to Harlem, New York. Like that's when that became my home. Did
you get like inspiration going to Harlem or New York where you went?
Yeah, definitely.
Is that where you would say your like sound comes from now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had my own sound too, like, cause you know I was always different than everybody in the neighborhood. Yeah. Like I was always like singing, doing like rock shit, but they like embraced it. But then I still like rapping too. Like I like growing up, like Big L is my favorite rapper, and like
Tough.
Most Def and Tyler
so
Quali
you,
and shit.
You know hip hop, like
yeah,
serious.
I know all that shit.
Yeah. When did you start producing?
When I was 12.
When you were 12?
Yeah.
Damn, that's early.
I was rapping before that, but. You know, I was just like a little kid.
Were you like designing clothes at the same time while you were 12?
I was always drawing. My mom's an art teacher, and
nice.
Like I always like.
So that's where you get it, like you know.
Art. Like I was drawing since I can remember. I was drawing like superheroes and like Pokemon and shit.
Oh damn. Charizard.
Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah. What? So you said Rhode Island, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what difference do you see in the music? You know, being from or not being from, but you know, moving over from Rhode Island to Harlem.
Well, it was only 3 hours away, like Boston, Connecticut, Rhode Island. It's like the New England area.
Yeah.
There's not like I think there's a couple people now.
Is the music different?
You know, who's from like Massachusetts is like 45 minutes away, so that's like where like Cody Ray from and Bia and shit.
From Rhode Island?
Not Rhode Island, Massachusetts.
Okay.
That's like 45 minutes.
Did they have any other artists besides you that came out that
from Rhode Island, like artists? Nah, there's producers though that were doing their thing.
Yeah.
Bongo, by the way, he was on Kanye shit. He on a bunch of people's shit like game shit. He out here killing it.
Yeah.
A-Rap Music from Rhode Island.
Nice.
And he also moved to Harlem too. That's funny. That's how he got on as well.
Oh damn.
With Duke the God and like Dipset and shit. That's how. And then Swiss Beats found them and shit. My homie Beat Menace. He's like he was on Meek Mill album, 6ix9ine album. He's still living in Rhode Island too, I think.
Do you go back? Do you travel back home a lot?
My mom lived there, but I haven't been there in a minute.
Yeah. What difference do you see now that you know you're in LA and you doing your thing when you go back? What difference do you see?
I love going back to New York. Like that's like my home. Like I feel like more than anywhere. Like you know,
it's good networking out there too. There's a lot of good artists that came up out there. Like that's the mecca of hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But for me, like just going back to Harlem and shit, and like I just get mad love. Like everybody knows.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And like
Are you with any label right now?
Yeah, I'm signed to Warner Chappell as a producer.
Okay, how did that be put in play?
That was just because I did the new Freezer shit, and then they found me, and that's like when I moved to LA.
What was like your response when that happened? Like you was like, damn, they reached out, or you know?
It was a long little process. It was like a whole another thing, but my homie A&R Wallace Josephs was like the VP of Warner now. He had DM'd me on Instagram. And we just made it happen.
Do you have do you manage any artists as well? Like, cause you produce. Like, do you have certain artists that you produce for? Cause you know how producers they got them certain artists that they really.
Well, I had that's just you know, I had this We have this collective of all these kids I met in LA and like some people I grew up with.
Yeah.
I signed this kid Rockstar Wall. I grew up with him.
Yeah.
Lil 6 Ounce. He was signing me. Bobby Brown Jr. He was a part of our collective. You know, Tizo was always around. And then his producer Levi, I work with him all the time. So we have like this collective and stuff. So
okay, what other big
Vanessa too. This my she's a female artist. Vanessa, she fire. We got a song coming out with her and Big Click.
Lit. Yeah. Make sure to promote that joint. You know, also, what are some things you learn now that you're in LA? You know, when you go back, you apply. You know, from being where you're from.
Like did I learn in LA to apply?
Yeah. Like so when you go back,
I think I learned more.
Cause you move different the older you get.
Yeah,
you know
you definitely move different. I think New York taught me something different, and LA taught me something different.
Yeah.
I say like the lesson I learned in New York though, like is definitely like more impactful. LA kind of is like it's the next level, and there's more bigger stuff and more people out here, but LA just gets really like what you learn from LA is like fuck. You don't want to learn that shit sometimes.
Nah, I feel you. It's super distracting too. There's a lot of stuff going on out here.
The shit you learn in LA, you don't really want to learn that shit. It's like fuck, like this is what it is.
Yeah, nah, facts.
You know,
what do you normally cost? Like, you know, because you produce, what would be a normal price? You know,
you know, I work with people, but like it'd be like 7 bands for like like when an artist signs to a label, when you talk about it, it's like average like 7 bands. But then like independent artists that don't have that much money, you know, like I work with them.
What big artists have you worked with so far?
That like already came out or what I'm working on?
Or just in general came out, working on.
All right, so the
only give us
placements I got is that's big is the shit with Rich the Kid and Kendrick, the ASAP Ferg record, Jet Lag.
Okay.
Those like the big joints. I got some shit with Smooth L out.
Oh wow.
It's called For the Fashion. They did a video for that. Me and Levi did that. Then unreleased joints, I got mad shit. I'm working on trying to get this released right now. I got a record with Slim Jimmy. That's just crazy.
Tough.
I got a record with YNW Melly, Polo G, ASAP Ferg and Jay Park. He's a Korean artist. I went to Korea with Ferg and we did some like
some work,
Korean shit. So yeah.
What's your favorite artist to work with? Like, you've been in a studio session, you like, it's just a vibe. You know what I mean?
One of my favorite artists to work with was Tizo Touchdown for sure.
Nice. And why was that?
Because he's just so creative and it's all outside the box.
Yeah.
And, you know, he really wanted it. And, like, his writing skills is crazy. Like, I ain't, like, someone who could write a song, like, 3 verses and the chorus and all the words have to do with the topic.
And still go with it. Yeah.
And not have no fillers and all the lines go together. Yeah. And melodically, it was just like, he was like OCD about that. And that shit was fire. And even how he rolled shit out after, too. Like, how he just put the content together and like made it happen. Yeah,
when you produce, where do you get that inspiration from? Like, you know, when people produce, there's like a certain mood or whatever. Where do you just be like, oh, okay, I got it, you know?
I get a lot of my inspiration from my emotions.
Yeah.
So if I'm angry or something making me mad, I'll try to like translate that on
and
sound.
That's how you go in the studio, or like
if I'm happy, I'm gonna try to make a beat that's happy.
Yeah.
It start going to the studio like as far as what?
Like, for instance, like when you go in the studio, what if someone, and I know you could do it because like I said, I've been around you long enough. If someone's just in there and they're like, I want this type beat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have to just like channel their energy.
Yeah.
And like, you know, picture like what it would look like with their voice and how their whole with their energy is like, and I just try to like put that together like that.
Do you like producing, making music, or you know, what do you like best? So if it was like, you know, art or whatever.
I just like making art, but for me, when visuals like go against with the sounds and like music and visuals together is like my favorite thing.
If there was,
that's what brings out the most emotion.
If there was like no producing, no music,
what I do?
Yeah, what would you do?
I'll be drawing or painting. I'd be like one of the people that's like, if it was just, I'll
be
drawing on the caves and shit. Like, if we had nothing, like,
little circles.
Or if I was in jail, I'd be the person that'd be like painting pictures of people's girls and shit. Yeah. For them or whatever. Like, I'm an artist. So
yeah,
that's
facts.
What
How do we get your art? Like, so, like, where do we go to cop it? Are you thinking about, like...
Only thing I have out is this. Is my Jane Arts shirt.
And how would we grab that?
Right now, you got to just DM me because they're super rare. But I'm going to have a whole Instagram page and stuff and, like, get that out and everything.
So I always wanted to add this. I never asked you, what do you spend your money on? Like, you know, like I normally don't ask it, but a lot of people like,
when
you know.
I first got my bread, because I was dead broke before I had my money. And the first time I ever had money, this kid from Texas bought a beat for $10K before I got the deal. Yeah. So I was like, all right, this is my first shit. Yeah. What I bought? I bought a Gucci bag. Okay. It's not a good investment, but I was looking at it like, yeah. You want to look good. It's like a job. Like,
it is.
Like, you can't go to the country club without fucking wearing the fucking pullover and shorts. So I was like, I gotta like play the part, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously, but the first thing when I got my big bag was, you know, get an apartment, go to Guitar Center.
You have any other investments 15.
Too? I was fucking with Bitcoin and those and shit. I made like 12 bands in the last like
Bitcoins is good.
6 months or something.
It's like the new thing. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it.
Yeah, that's just cool. You know, I think real estate is definitely the best way to go.
That's what I do. I do Airbnb. So,
I mean, I was gonna do Airbnb, but everybody talked me out of it. Like, it's mad hard, it's mad work, it's not worth it.
It's not. It's the startup, and it's a low cost too. So you really don't have to spend a lot of money. So it's
talking me out of that shit.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Well, I spend most of my shit just on what I love. Like, I got cameras, I got computers, I got studios. Mm-hmm. made sure my clothes and just everything that I know how to do. That's all you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Where do you see yourself like 5 years from now?
I definitely am gonna I want to put out a classic project, a good project, let the world know like what I really think about, what I want to hear. Because it's like when you make music, you gotta make music what you want to hear, and I feel like what I want to hear isn't really out yet.
It's like with the industry or the fans.
I want everyone so they know what it is, and then really I want to make a movie. That's the.
What would the movie be about? Just
man.
like your life, or?
Nah, I already got this crazy story. You know what I'm saying? It's like some I don't know what the genre would be. It'd be like some like sci-fi love like shit, but like everything that we do involved in it too. Kind of like just about the government, about everything that's going on, about all conspiracies. But
do you go deep into it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So for our people to relate to it, and everybody that is a part of the culture, and just a part like everyone that we like, I'm saying what we think, because it's like we're in a different world than other people, you know. So it's like, but it's something that everyone could relate to too. Like it'll make everybody like, because I feel like you could. I wouldn't say like they hypnotize people through movies and music, but
very true.
You could do it too, and then
very true.
Awaken everybody.
Facts.
In a cool way.
Just like, you know, what happened with, you know, Black awareness and, you know, what was going on when the kid had got shot. And then the NBA, you know, how they put the logos on the back.
Yeah.
Artists, you know, musicians and people that are in, let's say, basketball or whatever the case may be, they have, like, the biggest influence. Artists have the biggest influence on the kids. So, like, we could touch them in a whole different way compared to other people, you know, can reach out to them.
Yeah. And we all like movies we watch kind of like shape what we think and like dream about. You ever watched the movie and they had a dream about it? You know what I'm saying? So the people that have all the big money and stuff and they're making movies, they been putting messages in movies for us to think about certain things. Like it's been happening. So I feel like if we put our own money into it and do it, we can do some shit.
Yeah, where do you get your motive? Like, so when you do music and you produce for other people, do you ever, when you make music, do you have other people that you recommend that you want to produce for you? Like certain people you just love working with?
I just know how to put everything together. So if I
or do you just produce for yourself? You know what I mean?
Nah, I like to produce for everybody. Like if I'm working on a project, but just putting everybody together. Like you're good at this, you're good at this, you're good at this, and then I know how to put it all together. So
yeah, no, that's crazy. So like, let's reach out a little bit more. So let's go back like 10 years.
Yeah.
What difference have you made from our progression that you've seen in the last 10 years?
All right, so that's crazy. Musically, definitely just been doing it longer, so now I know what certain sounds will fit better with what I want, or like how to lay a whole project out. Like network, obviously, like I got more connections and stuff. I can reach out to more people. Just grew overall as a man, as a person, you know.
Yeah, what's the worst thing you hit about the industry? Because, you know, the industry, you get lost in it if you don't, you know.
The worst thing I hate about it, I mean, they just say more money, more problems and stuff. Yeah. So it's like, you know, you get all your vices. Like, whatever problems you have, you're going to have more money to have that option. And the hardest thing for me, though, was, like, knowing who to be around, who to leave behind.
Yeah.
Like, you feel bad about certain shit. You feel guilty. But then, like, then you're around new people, and then you question that, too.
Yeah.
So it's like, you start to, like,
it gets deeper.
Lose yourself a little bit. Because it's like, all right, I'm with all these people. This is what I'm going to make. I'm going to do this shit.
Yeah. And
then when you get to a certain point, some people aren't ready for it. Some people just, you know...
Facts.
Some people feel like you can't be around, even like.
Yeah. So how do you like maintain the peace? Because it's tough.
And then you meet new people, and that new people got problems too, and like you can't. So it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Like,
it's hard to keep that circle.
It's hard to keep it's hard to just like, yeah.
And it makes you low key just focus on yourself too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like you bringing new people in, you know, it's also you get a lot of distractions. There's a lot of distractions.
More distractions. I definitely got more distractions now. Definitely. So, and I only had like, you know, a certain amount of success, so I can only imagine like someone who really already like
that's really
lit, that really got the bread, that really already doing this shit.
Yeah.
And you don't even got to be as big as like Drake or Kanye, but in between that, it's still probably crazy amounts of stress and like you know.
What's the average day like for you?
I try to just make music every day.
Every day?
That's the only thing I should be doing.
Wake up, get to
the only thing I should be doing is making music. So if anything else I'm doing is like...
What truly gives you peace? Like, you know what I mean? What's that one thing that you like, damn? Like me, it's traveling, you know? Getting away from the world.
Yeah, I love camping and nature and
shit. You be in Miami a lot, too, though.
Yeah, I don't really like Miami like that, but...
You be out there.
I've been out there a little bit too much in the last couple months. But I went to Mount Shasta.
How was that?
With Tish and Chip and.
Oh, were you in Hawaii with her?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Mount Shasta was crazy because it's just like it's beautiful, the waterfalls, the nature.
How did you and Tish link up?
She had an Airbnb at my house in Hollywood underneath it, and we were blasting mad music.
Just hella random. Yo, you was producing.
So she came up like, yo, like I got a client down there complaining about your music, and then Bobby was like, oh, that's Tish. She da 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 da, and then she just kept coming around and shit. So.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That was just like a random, not like Tish.
Yeah, I didn't know she was until that.
Do y'all got any tracks coming or anything? Have you produced anything for her?
Yeah, I did a song with her that she's gonna drop with Yeba Smith and Vori. That's just crazy.
Oh, they got a jam?
Yeah, that's just crazy. And then I got a song on my project called Life that she's on. That's crazy.
Have you? I see you was in the studio. You and Minus got some cooking up too.
We had a joint. Yeah, we got a couple joints. Yeah, for sure. We're gonna keep working it too. I was supposed to go to the studio the other day with them.
What other big artists besides the ones you named that you look forward to working with?
Who I look forward working with? I know I always had like I'm gonna say them, but
yeah.
That's a hard question.
Or if you had to choose one, who would you pick that you want to work with? If you could do a whole project, if it's producing, you know what I mean, or music wise.
I got some ideas of who I would say, but it's like obviously like Kanye or Cudi. Cudi or Kanye.
So I gotta say this: Drake or Kanye's album?
Kanye album.
Kanye, and why's that?
Cause it's like music's music. You could be cool, everything like cool, but like Kanye really is on some other shit.
Yeah, he is.
He's really on some other shit that's more important to me than just like,
So do you think it's music wise, or is it because it's Kanye?
Music wise.
Do you think?
Because I think like I wasn't a fan of all Kanye's verses on the album.
Yeah.
But like as far as what he put together and what he's representing and what he's doing, no one's doing that. No one's doing no shows like that. No one cares about it that much. Like Drake's not lit enough. Like not lit enough, but he's not doing nothing to change the world or nothing. He's just making good. Kanye's really. Yeah. Kanye is really what he say is, I believe, and like even like Jay Electronica verse on that shit, like if
that was tough.
If people really knew what he was talking about, they don't. A lot of people don't. Like it's like and the fact that Kanye was trying to run for president, and you got Jay Electronica saying that, like that's like, and then
that's
like
beyond words.
And like the whole Jesus thing is deep because it's like, and in this culture, a lot of people are dying from violence and spiritually, that shit is kind of fucked up. So he's the only one that's really don't care about being cool, and he's actually just doing what he believes he got to do. So
you think he jumped over Jordan?
What you mean, like shoes wise?
Yeah, clothing brand.
Yeah, I mean, Jordans is
it's
more
crazy
like,
though, because now I see Yeezys, and it's like it's pretty much like Jordans now.
Yeah.
You see the kids with the Yeezys rocking it. You know what I mean? Like back in the day when it was Air Force Ones.
Yeah. I'm happy though that Kanye's doing that shit because to see somebody that's like okay with not being cool or not being, the like main person you would think would be like the coolest kid in high school to actually like be one of the best and be where he is. It's like, and Drake too. I fuck with Drake, but I think even like them going against each other helped Kanye's album out more too. So
it did. Yeah. So would you collaborate with Kanye on just the producing part, or would you want to actually have him on it?
I definitely would just,
because I feel like that'd be crazy. Even just being in the room and the
production for sure, and our ideas. And if he hears anything that I do that he likes, he can just tell me. Like,
have you ever sent anything out, like to get placements or anything?
Yeah, I send shit out. I be sending shit out. Like
How many like normally like get back to you?
It's random. It's like random, like So I just gotta be shooting.
Like a normal studio session.
I've been blowing up Big Sean. I got his phone number. I'm just texting the bitch all the time. One time I sent Lil Dicky a pack, but I'm a dickhead. I sent fucking a Trippie Red pack to him. So it was emo shit, and he was like, "Bro, I don't want no emo shit." I'm like, "Fuck." He didn't answer. I'm like, "Fuck." Who else I sent shit to? I met Rosalia's manager. Yeah. And I've been trying to send her Spanish shit. So I'm working on that shit, but that's like a shot in the dark.
Lit.
But then sometimes they like come through like, yo, I got on the shit. I sent some shit out to MGK and he
hopped on some shit.
Yeah.
So you work with a lot of big names. You know what I'm saying? So that's amazing. How do you think you could take your career to like a whole new level?
Music, that's the only way. Like,
do you think you got to put out more music? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or how many beats do you make per session?
I don't know. It's just per day I try to just make.
Do you have like a limit or something that you reach for? Or?
Nah, just whenever I'm inspired, I try to make as many as I can, and then the ones I make recently, usually like I'll see somebody and it'll fit with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It happens at the right time on the right place. You know.
Lit.
It's hard for me to calculate the shit. Like, I'm gonna make this type of beat for this person because it never works
tough.
like that.
Yeah,
it never worked like that.
That's tough. So I was gonna ask too. That have you made something for Zan too?
Zan,
because I remember I met you when I was with Zan.
My roommate, my artist, Lil 6 Ounce, he did a guitar shit for him, and because my homie managed him. So but I never worked with him.
You never worked with him?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you definitely got to make that happen. I feel like y'all would like kill some shit too. Yeah, because I be around them, so I was like, damn, definitely got to make that shit shake.
Oh yeah, we was at that party.
Yeah. That was lit. That was a fun. That's when I met you at the crib.
Yeah. And
everybody was just pressing play. We was all just pressing play, but everybody was playing fire shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think the next day you went to the stew with Minus too.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Apollo.
Yeah, Apollo pull up. Yeah. I got to join with them. That's hard.
When's that dropping?
I don't know. It's up to them. They ain't dropping.
What's the hardest part? So, are you in a relationship?
Yeah. Yep.
What's the hardest part about being in a relationship?
In LA? I don't know. It's just crazy, man. You know, it's just. I feel like all my friends, like nobody really got it right.
Yeah.
Like there's nobody that I know that's in like a relationship that's like, all right, y'all good. Like I don't like. That's a lot for me. Like
it's hard.
I feel like relationships, girls, drugs, all that shit go hand in hand because it's all like feelings and emotions and shit.
Yeah.
And I've seen too many of like my friends and close people like let that ruin them, or you know, it's hard. Like,
does your lady do music as well?
Yeah.
So how do you build trust knowing that y'all both are in the same industry? That's tough.
Yeah, you gotta just believe. I guess you gotta just believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that's the main thing, like, fucking with yourself, like, knowing that you, like...
Do you think, like, being in the industry is, like, do you think it's... How do I want to word it? Like, having a girl in a relationship, do you think it's the right thing while being in the industry? Knowing that, you know, like, the image-wise and certain...
I mean, yeah, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Okay. I love having a girlfriend, you know? I love having a girlfriend, like, and being, like, that's just something I love to have, so...
Yeah. What type of woman do you like?
I like girls who are just like ambitious and they got like they know what they want to like do or some shit and artsy. Like, like you gotta have some type of art.
Have you produced for your lady?
Yeah.
How did that like?
We dropped some shit the other day. Shit's doing pretty good.
It's doing good.
Yeah.
So what type of music does she make?
She makes like R&B, K-pop type shit.
Does she produce as well?
Yeah, she plays the guitar and shit.
Has she put some on your producing as well? Like if she plays the guitar, does she add to it?
Yeah, we cooking up.
Oh yeah, so y'all studio sessions be vibes.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Another thing I was gonna say is, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I forgot who it was. You were in a studio and you posted something. I forgot what it was, but you posted something about independent artists or just in general. Do you work with a lot of independent artists that are?
There's a lot of artists that like are on the verge of getting signed or like you know that were signed and they're not anymore.
Are you like looking for more artists in general
to sign
for like people watching this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you always looking like, you know what I mean? Always like
if I hear something and it makes sense.
What type of sound do you look for when you?
There's all different types of sounds I look for. Like I just like people that you could tell they care about what they're doing and they're taking it seriously. And I take what people say in their lyrics very seriously.
Yeah.
Like no matter whatever you talk about in your music, I feel like that's really who you are.
So what's hip hop now? I mean, like because hip hop has changed from you being in New York a lot. So like hip hop has changed compared to how it used to be. You said Big L. That's like a big step compared to hip hop now.
Yeah, I think music just changes though, and I don't think it's bad that it's changing.
You think it's good?
Yeah, it made some good turns for sure. I mean, it was always like certain negative aspects and shit, and always like, even though it was more real storytelling, or like now it's just kind of like,
yeah.
But I do feel like the certain things we gotta stop promoting and like
Facts.
realize shit, like, you know.
What do you think about like Double XL? Because I
like it definitely changed. Like when it like 2008, it was like B.O.B., Cudi, and Charles Hamilton. Now it's like fucking
I don't like the Double XL magazine when it comes out. And they
yeah.
do the artists. Back in the day, it was like, oh damn, that lineup's crazy.
Yeah.
Now in the lineup, and then they go to the freestyle part.
Yeah.
And I just be saying it, I'll be like, damn.
I think like lyrical shit probably is gonna come back eventually.
Yeah.
You know. I like the melodic shit. You know what I'm saying? I just, you know.
There's a lot of artists though that there's not a lot of hip hop though. You know what I mean? Right now, I mean it's hip hop
like
because
Corday hip hop type shit.
I mean, but like I said, but this
like Mac Miller shit.
Yeah. But this generation doesn't really promote it. Like, you know what I
Nah,
mean?
you ain't gonna. It's different.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna change. I mean, I like all shit. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think everything's dope. Like, if you're doing it, you care about it, and you're doing your thing. Like, it's dope. Like,
yeah.
But like, there's just certain things that, you know, it's been around. Always, there's always been like negative aspects in it because it comes from that place. Facts. But like, that's why I respect what Kanye's doing a lot.
Do you have a new project about to come?
Cause it's like, yeah, I do. I got a mixtape coming out called E.T. in L.A.
Okay. What gave you that name?
I'm into like conspiracies and just like
yeah.
looking at the bigger picture, and my music sound like spacey and shit. And like, yeah. So I was just like, all right, how am I gonna put it all together? And like one of my paintings was like a ET and the moon. I was just painting it and then.
Did you make that the album cover too?
Yeah,
Tough.
Yeah.
So what artists are on there?
As of right now, just Pop Smoke's brother, Obasi. He don't even do like rap music. He do like rock music.
So it's like on some whole different shit.
Yeah.
Damn. If you know, out of all the artists that died, you got Nipsey Hussle and a couple other people. What artists did you always want to work with?
I had a session with Nipsey. That was crazy. Well, that's my mixtape, Obasi on it. But my album, like that I already have songs done. I'm like put out later. I guess Tizo's on it.
Yeah.
King Chip is on it. Tish is on it.
Tough.
There's another person too that was big. I gotta go through my shit. But who
crazy catalog, huh?
Who you said who
would you want to work with? Like, you know, we lost a lot of artists in like the last 3-4 years. So
I mean,
like,
X. I felt like I was gonna work with X because I met him in Florida at someone's house, Bruno's house.
Yeah.
And he just looked me in my eyes, shook my hand and shit as soon as I walked in, and like I felt the vibes and shit. But then I never saw him again after that shit.
Damn. It's crazy.
I had a session with Juice WRLD, but I guess like I don't know what happened with that. I was talking to him and shit. I have a song with Lil Peep.
Why do you?
There's a song with Lil Peep online right now that I produced, and it was my chorus, and he like redid it. We did it in New York, so I got a joint with Lil Peep. That was cool. I would have probably kept working with him for sure.
Yeah, damn, that's crazy. Yeah, that's tough, man. With the X and Lil Peep, what do you think it is? Why a lot of artists?
I was saying earlier,
I'm like,
so you say the industry's crazy, all this shit, and like, if there's one thing that I could see that it was all in common with, even like with like old rock and roll movies and shit, you get lit and you have money and these girls, everything becomes a blur. That's how it was like for the rock and roll bands, but for these kids now, like, you could tell they had a lot of like anxiety and stress over like girls and heartbrokenness, and like X was like, what, you know, all the shit he went with his girl, and then being sad and then doing drugs, like Mac Miller doing drugs. And
it's crazy how many people die off of drugs though. You know what I mean? Like,
listen to Juice WRLD's music, it's all about like heartbreak and drugs and shit, so that manifests for sure.
But as do you think, like, also, like, you know, before we ended, I was gonna say, do you also think people are dying from drugs though? Don't you think like maybe the homies or the friends should maybe like say something, or just people should always say something?
I had one of my best friends died and it came out because it was drugs, but he never did drugs. It was the girl he was around.
Yeah.
She was doing drugs and he wanted that. You know what I'm saying? It's always that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always like a void or like a. So when people are going through that, sometimes you really don't even know. Yeah. Like how can you stop something like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just like.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that blows my mind because we lose so many artists. Also, so many artists, man.
Also, other problem is the drug companies like pharma and shit. They're making these drugs that aren't natural. They're synthetic, and the fentanyl's out, and that's what's really killing people. And I feel like if they made drugs legal and actually did the right drugs from the herbs and the plants that we used to do, that they made all illegal, and made it like it would be a little bit less of that. Like you wouldn't OD like that. You could do a drug safely and be the right drug. Like I didn't even know, like cocaine, right? The plant, if you make tea from the leaves, it's actually healthy for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, or like opium, like it's a painkiller naturally, right? And that's what they make fentanyl, heroin, Percocets, all that shit from. But if you actually like take the natural plant, you could make it into some shit that's probably not as addictive or as strong. It still will help people, but they just making so much money off this shit. That's why so many people are dying.
That shit's crazy. But that's coming in the movie though, so
yeah, that's part of the movie.
Cool. We're gonna cut the time short. I appreciate you coming out here, bro. Real love. I was gonna say, I always end it on some motivation. If you give some motivation to like the kids or something, just to end it.
Whatever you believe is really what it is. Like if you think that shit all the time, that shit's gonna manifest. That shit gonna happen, like good or bad. Like whatever you think you are, usually that's, and then so you want to be around people that think you are what you think you are too, because you be around some people and you start thinking like, damn, am I really this? Am I really? You know what I'm saying? So with your thoughts is that like powerful, and then like what you eat too is
real life,
exercise, all that shit. I tried
the mind.
Yeah, really, definitely. Like, and how bad you want it. Like if you know, like, all right, this is what I am and I want it that bad, and you're taking all the sacrifices for it, and you're actually getting better every single day. You're not. Like, you're gonna get somewhere,
Facts.
Wake your game up, it's your boy June. You are now listening to Junnin with June, the best fucking podcast in the universe.
Alright, that's a wrap.